Good morning, my friends, and welcome back to another day of online learning with Ms. Sarah. We're going to go over our calendar, take a look at our weather, review life cycles in science, go over shapes, and I'll read a story to you to wrap up. The month is March. We're getting to a point in March where there are a lot of days that have already gone by, which means we need to do a lot of counting. You friends have been doing a fantastic job, so please help me out and count along with me. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Whoa, that was a lot of counting. So there have been 25 whole days in the month of March, and the day of the week is Wednesday. So the day of the week is Wednesday. It's the 25th day in the month of March. As we learned this past week, friends, we are currently in a new season, and that season is spring. In spring, the grass gets greener and the flowers begin to grow. The sun starts to shine a little bit more and things get warmer, with, of course, some rain showers. Let's check out our weather today. Take a moment to go look out of your window and see if it's sunny, cloudy, rainy, windy, or snowy. Today, it's cloudy. It's going to start off at a cold 28 degrees this morning and go up to about 46 degrees. So that will be warm enough for some of the snow to melt, but not all of it. We'll still be seeing that on the ground for a while. Let's take a look at our thermometer. These temperatures still put us in that cold zone. So if you're going to go outside today, take a tip from my pal Oscar and make sure you wear something warm, like a warm sweater or a jacket. And Oscar likes to make sure that he keeps his noggin warm with a little hat. We're going to continue talking about life cycles. We've already talked about the life cycle of flowers and plants, the life cycle of the butterfly, and now we're going to talk about the life cycle of frogs and eventually the life cycle of chickens. Let's review the life cycle of plants and butterflies. With a plant, it starts off as a seed in the ground. Then it kicks out roots which grow down looking for water. When it's ready, it sprouts a sprout up through the top of the ground to peek out into the sunshine. As it gets more sun and more water, the plant grows into a grown-up plant and eventually makes seeds of its own, starting the cycle all over again. And that's how we get beautiful things like flowers and other plants. The butterfly starts off as a little egg. A few days later, out of the egg hatches a caterpillar or a larva. 2 weeks after that, the larva wraps itself up into a chrysalis. This is the pupa stage. After about 2 weeks, a beautiful adult monarch butterfly emerges or comes out of its chrysalis, and then it can fly around and have its own happy butterfly life until eventually it lays its very own egg. Today, we're going to talk about the life cycle of frogs. So here we see the eggs. In the eggs, the little baby tadpoles are starting to form. They all look different depending on what kind of frog they are. They get bigger and bigger, and this is all only happening over the course of 2 weeks. Then, when they hatch, they become tadpoles. This is called metamorphosis. As froglets, they start to sprout their back legs. There they are. Soon, their front legs are going to pop out. They grow them inside of their skin and then they push their way out. Just like that. Spring right out. Still has some growing to do. And their tail needs to disappear. Their tail gets absorbed or sucked back into their body and they use it as food. Then, when the tail is gone, they're ready to be a grown-up frog and swim around or head to the land and hop. The life cycle of a frog begins with eggs. After 2 weeks, the eggs will hatch and out come little tadpoles. This is called metamorphosis. Over time, the tadpoles begin to grow their legs. That's when the tadpoles turn into froglets. As the froglets continue to grow, their arms pop out too, and their tails get absorbed back up into their bodies because they use them as food. Eventually, the froglets have their arms, their legs, no tail, and they are now adult frogs, ready to go out and explore the land and swim around as they like. When one day, they'll lay eggs of their own and the cycle starts all over again. Let's talk about shapes. To review, we have our round circle, our four-sided square, our three-sided triangle, another four-sided shape, the rectangle, but 2 of the sides are short and 2 of the sides are long. We have a star, and we have a rhombus. We haven't talked much about the rhombus. We usually call it a diamond, but today we're going to start calling this guy a rhombus. Look how happy he is. The rhombus looks a lot like our friend, the square. The difference here is that the rhombus looks like a square turned itself up onto its corner. Now it's time I show you, friends, how to draw a frog. So, if you can, get yourself some paper and something to draw with. This could be a pencil, colored pencils, crayons, or markers. Whatever you'd like. We'll start off with our oval and then do 2 little semicircles, kind of like Mickey Mouse ears. Then we'll draw a little happy face on our frog. Now for the legs. We go up, down, around, and then its feet go out. 1, 2, and back in for 3, and now we do the same thing on the other side. Now we need it to have little feet. Just go down, and do the same thing on the other side, and I just erase those little parts to keep those lines off of the feet. And I outlined this so you can all see it a little bit better. And I gave it some eyelids for some more expression. So now I'm just filling in the frog green. When we think of frogs, a lot of times we think of green. And now just for some added scenery, I'm just going to draw this little guy on a lily pad. I'm going to draw some water for the water's edge. His frogs like to hang out in ponds. And they like to eat flies, so there's his lunch. Now I'm going to fill in the lily pad. Lily pads tend to be green, so I'll go with a slightly different color green. Now to add some more, I'll do the same color green I used on the frog, but then I'm going to grab myself a crayon and add a little bit of a different texture and a different color. See, a lighter color green, just to bring some individuality to my lily pad. So you can do whatever you like, whatever makes you happy. Now I'm going to put some grass to show that it's the side of the pond. I might turn those into cattails because sometimes we see cattails and pictures of frogs at a pond. Now I'm taking off the wrapper of my crayon. Make sure you clean up after yourself if you do this. And I'm going to use the crayon to quickly fill in the pond. And there we go. It's story time, friends! Here's the front cover of the book. The title of the book, or what the book is called, is Pete the Cat and the Super Cool Science Fair. The people who wrote the story, the authors, are Kimberly and James Dean. Pete the Cat and the Super Cool Science Fair by Kimberly and James Dean. Pete cannot wait for Friday. His school is having a science fair. Pete has never been a scientist. Now he can try it out. Pete's teacher tells the students they will do experiments in groups. Pete is in a group with Callie, Gus, and Squirrel. Our experiment is going to be groovy, says Pete. What should we do? Let's build a mini submarine, says Callie. Or grow a giant tree, says Squirrel. Or invent an invisible guitar, says Pete. Why don't we make a volcano? Asks Gus. Whoa, they all say. Volcanoes are awesome. The group plans the experiment at Pete's house. His mom brings them snacks. Would any scientist like a cookie? She asks. They all raise their hands. The cookies are warm and gooey. The scientists check the big book of experiments for materials. They need glue, water, newspaper, paint, and a plastic bottle for the volcano. They need vinegar, baking soda, liquid dish soap, and a secret ingredient for the lava. Pete and Gus mix the glue and water. Squirrel and Callie tear the newspaper into strips. They cover the plastic bottle with glue and paper. It looks like a sticky white volcano. Oh no! The paint in the brown bottle is blue. What are we going to do? Asks Callie. They can't find brown paint anywhere. That's pretty cool, says Pete. Maybe it's okay that we have a blue volcano. We'll be the only group with a blue volcano, says Squirrel. Let's test the lava so we know the volcano will erupt at the science fair, Pete says. Gus pours baking soda and liquid dish soap into the volcano and Callie adds vinegar. Nothing happens at first. All of a sudden, a lot of lava starts coming out. Super cool, says Callie. The team high-five each other. But the lava is still coming out. Soon it is a huge mess. Oh, Mom isn't going to be happy, says Pete. At least the scientists are ready for the fair on Friday. When Pete and his team arrive at the fair, they see all the other groovy experiments. They all look awesome. Grumpy Toad and Octopus grew rock candy in jars. Emma and Marty made slime. We don't stand a chance, says Gus. Don't worry, we have the secret ingredient, says Pete. At the science fair, Pete's teacher loves the blue volcano. Wait till you see it erupt, Pete says. The whole class watches Callie pour vinegar into the volcano. A second later, glitter lava gushes out. Everyone cheers. The scientists cheer the loudest. Science experiments are hard work, says Pete, but being on an awesome team makes them a whole lot easier. Excellent job, my friends. I'm so proud of you. If you're looking for more to do today, you can practice drawing, turn on your favorite songs, and do some dancing. You can practice stretching, quiet, deep breaths, and yoga. You can watch your favorite show or movie, or you can bundle up and go for a nice walk. Thanks for joining.